Well, I think one of the most important points, other than what I've already talked about, which is the program has to be individualized, is that the parent is an equal participant in the IEP process. I think a lot of times parents go into these meetings thinking, oh, I'm just going to sit and listen, and I just basically have to be directed by everybody else who's sitting around the table, all these experts. But no, you have unique information to share with the team. As the parent. And the law says you are an equal participant. You're not just there to sit and listen and sign the document, but you are entitled to ask questions, to understand information, assessments that you might not understand, programming, and to give your input. So I think that's really important. I think that depends. Some parents hire advocates whether things are going well or not because maybe they can afford to. Other parents hire advocates or lawyers if problems arise. Basically, as an attorney, I get involved when there's kind of a line in the sand. In other words, the parent and or the advocate have gone through the IEP process and have not been able to work out a mutually acceptable solution. Then they come to me basically for the due process route. Well, I think one of the most important things parents can do is getting back to what I talked about, assessments, and just learning about assessments and being able to read the assessment and understand assessment. I mean, most parents, even lawyers, aren't going to understand all the intricacies that go into an assessment because these are done by professionals who have a lot of training. But you can understand the nuts and bolts, the basics. And I think it's really important to do that because that's what the whole IEP is created and based upon is assessments and comments from the teachers and professionals about your child's learning. I think trends come and go with certain school districts. Sometimes you see patterns. For example, sometimes school districts will put more children in general education classes but not provide services, or maybe it'll go the other direction. They'll take children with IEPs out of general ed and put them all in special day classes. Maybe without really considering the least restrictive environment. So you see trends with school districts and they change over time. Maybe they get in trouble for having a particular policy that's not really in accordance with the law and they change it, but then maybe something else pops up. So yeah, it does change. Yeah, I represented a brother and a sister. One was in, I think, 7th grade, one was in 8th grade. They both had learning disabilities, very smart, because you get tested, you find out their IQ, and they were superior IQs, both of them. And they both had a reading disability. And they were reading probably 3 or 4 grade levels behind their actual grade. Not because they didn't try, not because they weren't smart, but they had a pretty significant reading disability. And the school district put them in a generic kind of a study skills class that didn't target their reading needs. So I came in, we went to due process, and we were able to get them in a tailored reading program. And they both just flourished. Years went by. I obviously didn't follow their story until they came into my office one day with their mom. And they came in to thank me. The son had gotten into Purdue University. The daughter had gotten into University of California at Merced, and they said that the reading program that they ultimately got into that helped them catch up in their reading skills made a big difference in their education and their career pursuits.